Good day, good day, good day, my good loving humans. Good day, good day, good day. We are up and running. 1, 2, 3. Are we hot? Are we cold? Are we hot? Are we cold? My goodness, what is going on out there? The wind is just banging things around. Here we are, ready to be completely present, ready to keep the main thing the main thing. We are travelers on the street called Trust, headed to the ultimate destination that is the Tower of Power, that is the understanding of self. Here we are, ready to climb into that super suit that happens to be underneath. Here we are, ready to be proactive, taking that proactive choice by planting our feet in front of us and saying that freedom is at our feet, that we can be free from the past and unafraid of the future because we are practiced at being present. Here we are. Here we are, flexing our willpower muscle, getting ready to be completely still as we engage in this beautiful habit together with our minds separate yet one. Yeah. Let us set the container. So, as an extension to yesterday, one more thought on anticipatory regulation. How do you sneak up on yourself? To be clear, your physiology is always going to eventually regulate, meaning the more heated anything gets, body, conversation, the more difficult it is to stay calm, curious. Because according to your brain, blast brain, according to your brain, curiosity is a luxury when you're on fire. And that's both figuratively and literally, of course. Most understand that conflict is part of our human experience, and that regardless of how you handle your conflict, you will inevitably find yourself in it at one point or another. Shout out to all of my avoiders. You guys, man. You can't avoid it forever. Come on now. I read recently something snappy, and this has stayed with me. We all know that conflict is part of communication. It's part of social interaction. It is part of who we are as a species. And what we are really, really afraid of is the escalation of conflict. So, in other words, we don't want it to go there, right? So we try to avoid that escalation, and we avoid it so much to the point that we ignore it, and we ignore it so much to the point that we pop off, and then we're all in our emotions. Let's be reminded here that once our bloodstreams are flooded with those stress hormones, with adrenaline, with noradrenaline, and we are live with all of that stuff, this is when you need to grab one of your images from our meditations and to remind yourself to breathe on through until the ego yanking on those horses that are all your senses, as those senses pull your chariot along, relax enough for you to be. So, I promised tips today, and here we are now, Friday, and I guess I have to give you some tips. Let's first acknowledge that creating space for your brain to avoid catastrophe is hard work. Maybe it's even harder to do in the mind than it ever will be in the body, meaning to say that it is easier to trick your brain into running a marathon than it is to trick your brain into staying curious during conflict. What it boils down to precisely, though, is experience. It will happen when it happens. What I'm presenting here is sort of a breath hold underwater approach to staying curious. Kind of like, okay, 1, 2, 3, be curious. It takes self-awareness. And because there is a fine line between being curious and being angry, it takes us having a few questions in our pocket to ask the other person as the conflict begins to occur. what is your experience right now? What are you feeling right now? Is there something we can change to help us understand one another? These are questions of the curious mind. They will lead us to understand how the other person is making sense of things. Keyword sense, because we often, instead of asking a curious question, will make a statement like, "You're not making sense." What has led the other person to act out a strategy as it relates to their needs and behaviors? We ask the question about if there is something we can do differently to change that position. Otherwise, the only thing that we're doing is demanding that the person listen to us, hear us. The tip here is that we tend to shout at the other person, "What the hell were you thinking?" instead of asking a question. So yes, this takes patience. And yes, this takes self-control. And most of all, this takes each of us being willing to not go along with the other person's narrative. Meaning to say that we can only listen actively without playing a part in the person's story. To not see ourselves in that story, to not believe that that story is more about us than it is about the person telling the story. Staying curious means staying open, and staying open can only occur when you are not allowing your ego to react to every single nuance of the other person's experience. Next week, we are going to get into something called image streaming to help us get through the muck of that egoic battle royale that we all experience when we're trying to be understood, when we're trying to be seen, when we're resistant to listening, when we're needing to stay curious and ask questions about experience and feeling and changing the fabric of the conversation. And how do we get that from here? Well, we go within, into our best selves, with beginner's minds, with patience, with faith, and with devotion, rather than impatience, rather than indifference, rather than mistrust. Let us now become who we were meant to be today. This meditation will keep you clearly curious. This meditation, it will seek to connect you to the universe that is you. It will take you boldly to where no person has gone before, deeper and deeper into the epicenter of your circle. Because a focused mind is a concentrated mind, and a concentrated mind is a satisfied mind. So say we all. I know that I want to believe. So let us all together now begin to take the next step and breathe. These are going to be beautiful, beautiful diaphragm breaths, belly breaths, breathing into the diaphragm, filling the diaphragm up like an accordion. We're going to bring that air up through the chest and up into the head. As Wim Hof says, fully in and fully out. We indeed are going to do this, and we may feel a little lightheaded or a little nauseous and a little full of pins and needles, and that's okay. That's okay. If you're seated, your feet are to the floor. Your palms can be in your lap. If you're lying down, each limb is touching a surface. If you happen to be standing like me, do a little Tai Chi, legs shoulder width apart. For the time being, for those that have sight, as you have sight, if you have sight, your eyes will be open, taking in all that is around you, the pictures of the past, the windows of the future, that sense that you have in the state that you are. And we are going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, a light pause at the top and a free fall down, not trying to hyperventilate. And we're breathing deep, breathing in. And release. Breathe. breathing in and release. Oxygenating this body, breathing in and release. Filling those capillaries, breathing in and release. 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 Feeling that lightheadedness, possibly breathing in and release. One more time, breathing in and release. This time allowing that breath to fade into the physiology, allowing the lids to flutter close at your own pace, focusing your attention on your object form as you have it, what you have, focusing down to the lower limbs if you have, feet, ankles, toes, fascia of the soles, calves, knees and joints, long hamstrings, weighty quads, thick glutes. Focusing your attention down onto the object form, this outer body, all together. Squeeze down all of those compartments, drawing in the lower limbs as you have them, if you have them, holding tight, creating tension, focused attention, overriding tension. And when you have it all together, notice the tightness and let go. Feeling that release, finding your root, the line of the chakra, the spine, the sacral and solar plexus, the heart center, as you have them, if you have them, what you have, the rib cage, the miles of digestive tract, the brain belly, all together. Squeeze down the torso, holding tight the root, drawing in the abdomen, down on the pectoral, tightly wound, focus the tension, overriding tension. And when you have it all together, let go. Feeling possibly that digestion as it's stirred is okay. Finding now the shoulders and upper back, the neck, as you have them, if you have them, what you have, the biceps and triceps, the forearms, the wrists, the palms, the digits, all together, taking them in, drawing them down, calling attention, focused, overriding tension. And when you have it all together, let go. Letting go, feeling the object form falling away. Finding now the head, as you have them, if you have them, what you have. Eyes and sockets, ears and lobes, teeth, tongue, gums, throat, skin of the cheeks, sinus, follicles of hair, crown, squeeze down, drawing in, creating tension, focused, overriding tension. And when you have it all together, release and let go. Let go to the vibration of the tones, to the reverberation of voice. Let go of each thought, of each distraction. Release without attachment, letting go to the center of your circle, letting go and feeling the sunshine beaming from your pocket onto the mind's eye, letting go, and feeling the expanse of your self-awareness, this moment of self-control, letting go. And in the vastness of your circle, consciousness rising, and the crystal clear you filling the sphere of influence. As you use your will to choose imagination, to be the artist of you, the creator of an image. Each artist uses an instrument, be it pen, brush, chisel, guitar, drum, voice. Choose the instrument for now, for this moment. And on the vast expanse that is the canvas of your self-awareness, with long, smooth strokes, strums, or hums, create the image of a toy box. Let the colors come. Let the tones tell you. As you flow, you connect to the connection that is flowing inside of you, to the electric surging free, to the cosmic you. You set the scene. You create this image. Allow the image to float in the expanse all around you now. And let go of your instrument. Let go of imagination. Let go of will. And in consciousness, be. If you have been here before, be for the first time. In the complexity is simplicity. your mind's eye now, reach for your scene, holding it up to the sunshine that is beaming from your pocket. Smooth it into a ball that will exist as a universe inside of you. Holding the ball out in front of you now. Peer one more time into the scene and see the image of your toy box, where all your curiosity will be. Release the ball, allowing it now to drop and splash into the center of your circle. And as it splashes down, feel the ripple. And as that ripple pushes forth, let go of all you do not know. Let go of all that you may not understand. Let go of all that you cannot control, because that is okay. And as you feel the ripple pushing forth, as you feel your circle pulsing, feel it growing and expanding from your acceptance. And in affirmation say, I will use my self-awareness to focus on what I can control. I will use my will to focus on what I can control. I will use my imagination to focus on what I can control. I will use consciousness to focus on what I can control. I am the programmer, and this is my program. This is the space that exists in between the stimulus and the response. The space where I stand in the center of my circle, where I have the freedom to choose my responses. I want to believe, so say we all. And now, call your attention to a light breath, and with a breath light, begin to allow the world back onto the body, onto the head and neck and shoulders. Attention on a light breath and a breath light. And begin to allow the world back onto the body, to the heart center. And with a breath light and a light breath, take hold of your root. And as you have them, if you have them, what you have, call attention back to the upper and lower limbs, and let the eyelids flutter open. And at your own pace, focus back on to the senses, all that you have, what you have, if you have, and focus on the you of today, the you of now, the focused you, the sharpened you, the you who has never left, the you who is not broken, the you who is all right, man. My goodness, you are not the drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in the drop, and we are the tide. If you have that cold water, do drink it down. If you have the time, please spend the time writing down what it is that you are seeing. How will you use the image of the toy box later on today and forever to keep yourself curious, to look inside and see what toys are in there, what questions you might have for the world and for yourself when you have your ego yanking on the reins of your senses when you are being dragged into the deep water, when the world is bearing down upon you, where you are resisting with your conscious self to not be part of another person's narrative. How will you use the image of that toy box? Write it down. Be committed. This is where we observe ourselves without evaluating our being, and that is the highest form of intelligence according to Krishnamurti. And I would say the highest form of consciousness, that which we share, The trifecta, the third song, Forever Young, as done by Rod Stewart. Yeah, there's a bunch of songs called Forever Young. My goodness, my goodness. Stay curious, my good humans. Stay curious. We'll see you back here on Monday, the flip side. I hope that we all have some time over the course of the 2 days that are designated rest days to do some more self-care, more than just the 20-odd minutes that we get here. Remember to breathe, my good humans. Remember to breathe. Peace and love. See you back here on Monday. Stay safe. Share the message, my good humans. Share the message. And for those of you that came to the rally yesterday, much appreciative. Much, much appreciative. It's for our kids. It's for our future. See ya.